Hi folks, this is Vince with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take a quick look at Lightning Dice. This game is for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, and the average play time is 15 to 20 minutes. This game is very simple to play. Let me show you the components real quick before we get started. Here's your box here. There's no insert, but there is a bag, which is kind of nice. You've got some Lightning Dice cards, which I'll explain in a minute. You've got a bunch of dice here and some pawns. Again, it supports up to 6 players, so there's 6 different player colors. I've set up the game for 2 players myself. Whenever you set up the game, you're going to take a pawn of your color and the dice of your color, and each player is assigned a player number. So blue will be player 1, for example, and yellow is player 2. And that's important because that actually falls in the gameplay. So there are no player turns in this game. As the name implies, Lightning Dice, everyone is going to be rolling at the same time. It's going to be very quick and chaotic. And the first player to reach the 20 space on the score track will win the game. And the game even tells you how the game is played. Flip a card, you know, have 3 options. Let's go ahead and flip a card. And here's a quick look at what the card might look like. So you've got 2s. This counts as, this is a 1 here. You've got a 5, 6, and a 4. Okay, so, and then after that, roll your dice and try to match the criteria shown. Get 2 points, then flip a card. So basically, all of the players in the game will be rolling dice at the same time. They can choose as many as they want to. So they're going to roll. And now this player will go, okay, I've got a 2 here. I've got 4 here. Obviously, they need to think a little bit faster than I am right now. Okay, so I think they don't have any more matches here. So they're going to lock in those 2 and roll these and keep trying. Okay, there's a 1. There's a 6. They need a 5 and a 4. No, they've got a 4. So 2, 4, 5. They need another. Okay, they've got the other 2. So now they need a 4 in order to win this card. Now, meanwhile, this other player is doing the same thing. They're rolling dice. Now, one of the interesting things about this game is that, let's say that this player is player 1 and this player is player 2. Let's say that this player happens to roll all 1s. Okay? And let me just flip the dice over. There's that, and there. If a player happens to roll all of the same number, and that number happens to correspond with a particular player number, then something happens. If they match their own player number, then they get a bonus point. They get to move their marker 1 up the track. But in this case, they match the player number of their opponent, which player 1 is over here, player 2 is here. So they put all 1s here, and this is player 1. So player 1 would actually lose a point. Now let's say blue was here, and they would simply just, go back to 2 like that. So if you happen to roll all of the same number and it's your number, you move up 1 point, and then you continue rolling, trying to match the card. If you happen to match a number that belongs to an opponent, they lose a point, and of course you can continue trying to play to match this card. So you can take a risk. You can, let's say you're not rolling favorably, but you are getting a lot of the same number, then you can just try and go for that number and make either yourself gain a point or someone else lose a point. Or, again, you can take the risk and do that, or you can try and match the card. Whenever you do match the card, the first player to match a card will get 2 points. So let's say that blue does manage to do that. He rolls that's a 4, he needs a 5. So he does that. So let's say he's the first player to do that. He goes 2 points up the track, and that's it. That round's over. Then you flip a new card. Actually, this is a roll all the dice with your player number and get 3 points. So this is a special card, which is really cool. So it's not just dice that you have to match. Sometimes you'll come across cards like this. So players will be trying to do that. The first player to do that will get 2 points, and then they'll draw again. And again, they roll dice. And this will continue until one of these 2 players will reach the winner space. And the first player to do that will win the game. Alright, so there you have it, a quick and dirty look at Lightning Dice. I apologize in advance if my voice sounds a little nasal. I'm sick, and I'm getting over some really nasty medical issues right now. But that aside, Lightning Dice is fairly fun. It's very simple to play. One thing that I don't like about it, and it's kind of ironic because it's the core of the game. It's the lightning speed at which you have to try and make decisions about your dice. Like in games like Roll For It, everyone takes a turn and there's no rushing. In this game, it's the exact opposite. You're rushing to roll the dice and to match the card. Now, the manual doesn't say this, and this is something I didn't show you earlier. This is all the manual is. It's one page, front and back. There are rules for quick game and tournament play. The quick game does away with this altogether, and all you have is the cards and the dice. And then basically, if you happen to be the first player to get to match the card, you keep the card. And then when the deck runs out, the player with the most cards will win the game. So that's the quick game. I didn't really look at the tournament play. With the tournament play, you need like a third player to act as the judge. That's just too official for me. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's not mentioned in the rulebook anywhere, but the way that I like to play, I like where everyone takes turns. So blue could take a turn, roll dice, assign dice, whatever. Yellow can take a turn, roll dice, assign dice, whatever, and they can go back and forth. So there is, even though the game, it goes against everything the game is designed to be, lightning dice. It goes against the theme, it goes against, you know, the general mechanics of the game, you know, rushing to get it, you know, to be the first one to match the card. You can play a little bit more calmly by taking turns. So if you're playing with Grandma, for example, and Grandma, you know, isn't as dexterous as you are when it comes to rolling dice and figuring things out, you can take turns. That's no problem. So, I mean, it's not in the rulebook again, but you can cater the game to be that way if you want it to be. The other problem, I wouldn't say that quick rolling of the dice is a problem for me. That's just a preference. I'm not a fan of games that make you rush. So that's just me. I prefer the taking turns, thinking, because I am getting older and I'm slowing down. Vinny, on the other hand, my son, has no problem. He's quick on the draw. But the main problem I have with this game is the price tag. The game on the official website is priced at $29.95. For a game like this that is very simple to play, and, I mean, granted, I mean, the dice are nice, the components look nice, everything, the bag nice, everything is great, but $29.95, when you compare it to other games on the market like Roll For It or Quicks, other dice games, they usually fall within the $10 or $15 price range. So when you've got a game priced at $29.95, some consumers may be like, yeah, it's a little bit too much. Now, when you look at it from the developer's point of view, you know, I'm constantly told, well, you know, the manufacturing costs were this, so we had to price it at this in order to make money. I get that. But I am a consumer first, and my audience is a consumer. You know, or most of my audience are consumers. So I cater my reviews around that idea. And as a consumer, when I see a dice game for 10 or 15 bucks on the store shelf that roughly does the same thing as this, and this is 30 bucks, I'm like, you know, well, obviously I'm going to go with the cheaper route. So that's one thing I think the developers need to look at is the price. If they can find a way to cheapen it, make it cheaper somehow, I think if they can price it at 20 bucks and still make some money off of it, I think that would be a better deal. $29.95 is a bit much for this game, and in my opinion. But if you have the money and you don't care about that kind of thing, then go for it. This is a great game. So there you go, Lightning Dice. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my official website, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.